Was just speaking to this young man next to me, who happens to be one of the greatest minds in boxing history, bar none. But with no further ado, I'm gotta introduce my man, Buddy McGirt. Look,
How you doing?
welcome to the fight show, brother. Man, it is. I can't even say how important this is to those who are watching. And I know in 2 seconds, everybody's going to start chiming in, but I'm going to let you all know today we have a purist legend in two categories. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the show roll, and you guys will catch up with your questions and all of the pop-ups when we get to our what we call our little intermission. But right now, it's time to get it popping. It's time to box on the fight show with my man Buddy McGirt. And before we get going, man, all I want you to be able to do is understand what our platform is about. It's a ton of coaches, up and coming trainers, young fighters. You know, we know our audience, and I'm telling you, we were getting messages and people were really, really fired up. And these guys are all young. So what I set out to do is to introduce the real guys, the guys who paved the way. And as I just said, I was encouraged by seeing a boxer use his mind, and you were like, I don't know, you might have been the first one. Everybody's going to say Ali, okay, because they saw what he did. But when I saw you, I was like, yo, the thinker in the ring. You were the first guy. Let's just say pound for pound. Let's just say pound for pound, because you were the smaller weight class, and you know how tough it was to get
Oh
notoriety
yeah,
back then. So
without a doubt, it
yeah,
wasn't easy.
yeah, so we're gonna let you have the floor, and while you are on the floor talking, I might ask you to go back to who really inspired you before you even got going, because it's a lot of stuff to unpeel, and we're gonna let you take the floor right now. Special shouts out to everybody out there who popping in. They want to see. I told you, man, it's gonna be crazy. They all over the world. Let's get it popping, man. Buddy McGirt is over in the UK getting it in, so let's go. Shouts out to the guy from Morocco. Let him know. Take us back, man. How this all began for you, buddy.
I mean, it's so I was a kid. I'm born and raised in New York,
Yeah,
and just wanting to do something with my life.
yeah,
You know, like in most neighborhoods, there's always those guys who shoulda, woulda, coulda, had all the talent,
yeah.
but chose not to pursue their dream.
Of course.
I, on the other hand, I just saw watching my mom struggle. I'm like, yo, if there's a way, I got to find a better way. Because,
Yeah,
to be honest, it was about me, but it wasn't about me. It was
yeah,
about
yeah,
my mom. It was that was always my thing, was my mother. I always wanted to do something to make life easier for her.
yeah, yeah. I get it. Yeah, that was your motivation. It was
Yeah.
obvious. Did you have brothers and sisters,
Oh
buddy?
yeah. It was six of us,
Mm-hmm.
five boys, one girl,
Okay.
and my mom was a single parent. I mean, we had a stepfather, but
Yeah, yeah. I know. I
he
get
was
it.
he was just there. My
Yeah.
dad, I knew. My dad. I used to spend every weekend with my dad until he passed.
Ah,
You know what I mean?
okay.
But
Yeah.
mom was that lady. She didn't ask nobody for nothing. She
Yeah.
worked at a psychiatric hospital for over 30 years. To
Wow.
take care of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she worked the night shift. So it wasn't easy, but at the same time, I wouldn't change it for the world, because all those experiences that I had growing up
Yeah.
helped make me who I am today.
Phew, man. And that's to say the least, man. You're a humble guy, and it's obvious. You never tried to take the spotlight from anyone, none of your fighters and stuff. But one of the things that I segue this into is how you came into the sport. I told the young guy that we had on a while ago, that how he approached your composure and the mindfulness. And Otis Griffin, who was actually one of the first celebrity guys that did the celebrity boxing and then went on to be a WBO champ, is one of my co-hosts. And I tell him all the time that how you guys held the game. And Steve Cunningham, who was up here last week, and he won his fight, so special shouts out to Steve Cunningham. These guys gave us something, a visual of what it can look like and what it should look like. We should look like men. So it's obvious why. And this young man right here out in Freeport, New York, Thomas Himmelberg, is one of the guys in our school of boxing where we teach and show and get guys curriculum. And so special shouts out to you, Thomas, for chiming in and jumping in. This is the perfect time for you guys to really learn what the process of boxing looked like, because Buddy didn't take any shorts. And when we go into his career, you probably had some of the same inspirations, but I want to hear from you, and they want to hear from you. Who was your inspiration as a fighter when you saw him? Like, yeah, I can do this.
It's funny. Growing up as a kid,
Yeah,
it was Muhammad Ali.
yeah.
Of course, he was the man at the time. But as I got older,
Mm-hmm.
I started studying more and more more and more fighters.
Yeah,
And I fell in love with guys like Jersey Joe Walcott, Ezra Charles, of course, Sugar Ray Robinson, guys of that nature.
yeah.
So I just Kid Gavilan, I just took a little bit from each one of
Whew.
those guys and
Yeah,
studied them over and over and over and over and over.
yeah,
There'd be days I'd be in my basement at home just practicing moves. Not that
yeah.
I read a magazine about one of them, and the magazine would say, "Well, the guy did this move or did that," and I would go downstairs in my mom's basement and I would try it over and over and over until I got it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But
yeah.
I've
Muscle.
always was that thinking guy. No matter what I did, I've always loved thinking.
Yeah,
No matter what I participated in, if it wasn't something for me to think
yeah,
or to try to outthink the other person,
yeah.
it didn't catch my interest.
Yeah, I got to take it back though. When you said that, you were thinking, man. And there was just one time, man, I just was like, it was the second fight when Alvarez fought Kovalev. And when I saw, and I was pulling for the other kid because I was like, yo, this kid, he's going to be a new face in the game.
Right.
Kovalev had his game. They showed that he got with you. I was like, oh, it's over. This dude is because you just know the muscle memory necessary for any match. Whether the fighter can carry out the detail is one thing, but I
Right.
know the puzzle, and it's obvious because you alluded to going in there and working on things constantly to become more of an elite level guy, because it's all about the muscle memory. And
Right.
it's obvious when you train your guys, you train them in a multitude of ways to be prepared for whatever is coming. And I was like, as soon as he started boxing, I said, it's obvious that he's with Buddy McGirt now. Jesus, boy. These guys, the people who just had written them off, they just don't know enough about boxing. But I knew that was the entire denominator. And I knew that you put him in a place that he'd be able to operate where he felt comfortable. And man, the cameraman did a great job because you were talking to him, and I was like, he's saying exactly what I knew he was gonna say. He's keeping that dude. And for any of you who don't understand how serious it is to have a guy who's groomed and understand the method, it's uber important. Buddy McGirt, like I said, understands all of the layers, and that's what we try to preach, man, is to make sure that these guys understand the layers. So when we take it back, man, I want you to take us back to when Kovalev did come to you, and you guys crossed paths, and
Thank you.
what were some of the things? What were some of the things that stood out that you knew he needed to learn in order to carry out the task at hand when he fought that kid
Thank you.
Alvarez?
Well, he had to get back to the basics.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He had got away from the basics.
yeah,
Because when you got fighters that are always knocking people out,
yeah.
you get away from what got you there.
Yes, you do.
You know what I mean? And that's what he did. So I'm like, listen, man, you can make this harder, you can make it easy. That choice is yours. And he goes, I want to make it easy. I'm like, okay, well, let's just get back to the jab and
Yeah,
get back to the basic things. I mean, when you look at a lot of the great, great fighters,
yeah,
they had the basics down to forget about it, unbelievable.
yeah.
That's what made them so
Elite.
great, because they perfected the basics.
Thank you.
So
Repeat that again.
they
Please repeat
perfected.
that for these.
Oh, a lot of the great fighters
Yeah.
perfect the basics.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They might have some flashy stuff in there, but at the end of the day, it's all basic, man.
Yeah.
And people have a tendency to get away from that. You know,
This
you
is
start winning fights by knockout, you get away from the basic, and it's like, yo, you can't do that because you're getting away from what got you there, and that's not a good move.
yeah. And it's easy to. I mean, when you go in there and knock a guy out in 2 rounds, 3 rounds, hard. But as I tell them, and you can co-sign on it, when you go up levels, the dexterity of the body changes. Dudes are more adapted to getting hit hard by harder hitters because camps, there are more elite guys in camps. So they get that false sense of security. There are several guys out there that are like Better BF. Even though he
Yeah.
hits hard, he still stays within himself. I look at him, I say, wow, he's definitely a good fighter. He's well rounded, and he still can knock you out with one shot. I mean, he's a very, very powerful guy. But
Can you?
go ahead.
But go ahead, man. I
No,
can.
but that is one of the things that we always try to educate our coaches. Let me see. One guy said a message to you. He said, let me get this off the screen and read it to you because I think he wanted this. He was referring to your, let me see if I can get that note on the screen. Buddy is the man and sounds like his mom was a champ also. Yeah. Yeah. Special shouts out to you, brother. It's always good to see people mindful and consciousness. Anthony, special shouts out from Cleveland. Good deal, man. It's good to see you, brother. And so I want to take this thing right here, buddy, because you got to direct these guys right here because they're listening for a reason. This is just not a bunch of fans. These guys are in front of guys, and they want to really understand the mindset. And you're doubling down on these things. But when we go back, I want to rewind the clock back to the days when you were in training camps, and your coach was requiring specific things. When you think back to those times, what were the same redundant things that your coach required from you when you started getting in those top level fights?
Well, he always believed in, back then they believed that, I mean, they believe in hard work now,
Yeah.
but when back then we sparred every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
We never asked who we were sparring.
Yeah.
We never asked how many rounds we were sparring.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 30 fights before I ever hit the mitts.
Wow. Wow.
30 pro fights. I had over 30 pro fights before I ever hit the mitts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
wasn't big on that. They was big on teaching you how to fight.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
So and every day, I mean, we was in the gym 6 days a week. There was no excuses.
Wow.
And when I first turned pro, I used to travel 3 hours just to get to the gym.
Oh, 3 hours to get to the
3 hours
gym.
just to get there. Then I train, and then another 3 hours back home.
Wow.
I did that every day. I did that every day for 6 years.
And guys be complaining about having to train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to travel from Long Island, from Brentwood, Long Island,
Okay.
to Jersey City.
Wow. That is no small travel, people. Trust me.
I'm going to tell you how my routine was. I take the train from Long Island to Manhattan. But you switch in Jamaica. You switch in either Jamaica or Hicksville.
Yeah, my sister lived in Jamaica, Queens. Wow.
You switch in one or two places.
Yeah.
Then you go to Manhattan. Then I will get off the train in Manhattan and walk down to the PATH station.
Mm-hmm.
Then jump on the PATH train, take the PATH train to Journal Square and in Jersey City, get off, and then walk a mile and a half to the gym.
Oh my gosh. Yo, that's
I
crazy.
did it every Monday to Saturday. And it's funny, my senior year in high school, I turned pro.
Mm-hmm.
So my teacher would let me out of class early. My last period teacher would let me out of class early to catch the 12:27 train.
Wow. And 30 fights before you even hit the pads.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't understand. We had guys doing mid work before they, footwork for 6 months before they even throw a jab. And that's when you're working with guys you gotta really groom because they really are going to be something. They show up and they deliver, and whatever is required they go through and they do and stuff. So with that, seeing that regimen and understanding that it was like Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. Here's what I want to do now. I want to go back and I want to pull back a memory or so for these guys who I know are starving. I want to pull up this one of the times when I got to hear you, and I just was like, this dude is as great on the background than he is in the ring, and that's where it really was apparent when you took Goddy and you took him from being what were one of the things that you knew that you had to adjust when you had Arturo Goddy, the rock star that he was in and outside of the ring, when he walked into that gym and you had that conversation with someone like himself who was a very he was willing to bump heads in the ring, needless to say. But what was some of the things that you had to really get him in line to do in order to be the level in which he could be?
I had seen Arturo fight
Yeah.
on Tuesday Night Fights once.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, this kid can fight. He's not bad.
Yeah.
And then when he beat Tracy Patterson for the title,
Great fight.
beautiful. I commentated that fight.
Yeah.
And then he got into a war, and I don't know who it was with, and he
Was it
knocked the guy out.
Rodriguez?
So then after that, he got caught up into the hype.
Mm-hmm.
He believed in giving the fans what they want.
Yeah.
So when I got him in the gym, I said, listen, we can do one or two things. I said, you can fight. I mean, you can train, spar, and go play golf, or you can train and spar and go put ice on your face after every. Because he loved golf. So I said,
Yeah.
so which one? I said, which one is it you want to do? He said, I'm not putting no damn ice on my face. All right, listen, let's be smart in it. You have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Yeah.
And it took a while. It wasn't easy. I
Yeah.
mean, when we would be sparring, if he would like make it a war and sparring, I'd stop it and start the round over again.
Muscle memory. He
Yeah.
would yeah. He wouldn't he wouldn't understand how to switch the gear if you didn't make them, and you had to get the reps in. I know that was tough. So what we're gonna do is play a couple of the rounds, man, the tough ones in the first fight. And I want these people to really get an opportunity, and you can talk during the match and just take us back to what was going through your head when this was happening. Because this is fire. Let me see. Hold on one sec. Uh it was popping up here. Here we go. All right, let's get it. Now, exactly what was going through your mind, right?
I can't say it.
You can't see it?
No.
Oh, hold up. Wow. It's about to pop in. Wow. Buddy, you had the hoop in and everything. You was you was on your game, B.
Is that the first Gatti Ward fight?
That's the first one. That's the one look, that muscle memory is still settling in. He was still trying to go to war. But you know what? In an epic battle like this, what the boxing community got. Wow. Yeah, and that was after that body shot. You know, Mickey Ward was putting cats away. Zab Judah was like, yo, I ain't never been hit with a shot like that to my body to make me shut down my leg. My liver was totally toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you tell this guy at the end of that round when he went back to the corner?
Well,
Take us back to that.
I looked at his face. He was crying.
What?
So I said, you know, I said, "You okay? I'll stop it." He was no. He said, "My side is killing me, coach, but I'll make it through the round."
Wow.
So I said to him, I says, "Well, you got to show me some leg movement. If not, I'm gonna stop it." And he went out that next round and boxed the hell out of him.
Yeah. If that mean when you see a guy like that, and for those of you chiming in, because there's a ton of you chiming in, I see if you got questions, you can pop them in there. What's going on, Paul, out in Aussie? Welcome, brother. It's good to see you. As you can see that during a match of that magnitude, which you will not really see those type matches today, it's unfortunate, but my question to Buddy is now, like just seeing what Goddy withstood, who today that you see reminds you of Goddy. And let remind people, Goddy was a banger, and then he became a boxer. And so, is there anybody that you see today that you could say, man, that guy's going to have a triumphant career because he has the right stuff? Who's any other fighters right now that you feel like are going to end up being much better than what people think they are?
Pretty tough question.
Yeah, it is.
I'll be
Yeah.
skipping.
Yeah, exactly. Man, unfortunately, that's a real thing. I see some tough guys, but it's only a matter of time before they meet those matches. You have the Shakur Stevens of the world, the guys who really have, some people behind them, and an amateur career, Olympic experience. And when it's all said and done, it takes a lot. But at the same time, it goes to show you that the level of fiber that these guys had, even just then, and that was in the 2000s. It was at the beginning of the 2000s, the turn of the century. So the guys who were pioneers are thinned out at this time. They starting to thin out big time.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can tell. And that's kind of what it is. Let me say, so important, buddy. You were hungry and determined to be a champ. Worked hard, brother. From Anthony. Anthony, special shouts out to you, brother. Nice comment. Yeah, buddy did work hard. That's what he's trying to instill in these guys because he understands what it takes. And hello, big fan, McGirt. Big fan of McGirt. Any memories you want to share with Thunder Gotti? Coming from Alberto Orozco. Interesting name. Any special memories that you would
Wow.
like to share of yeah. Gym moments or not?
Can you this my daughter, can I hold 1 second, please?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll get you. I'll share and get you down. We're gonna take a let Buddy handle his daughter real quick, and you guys pull the questions up, but we're gonna watch a little bit of this. Let me see it. Yeah, let me see. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, so you guys keep on dropping the questions, and I see them popping on the screen. And I'm gonna give you a special shout out. Buddy's getting ready. He's coming back on. I'm getting ready to get it in. But like I said, and I promise you always that we're gonna always make sure that you have answered questions answered on this show, so you can really understand how to move forward. But this is a powerful thing to have, you know, royalty in your presence and giving you the opportunity to really weigh in. And of course, when it comes down to this, the biggest thing that you got to remember is when it comes down to skills and developing the athletes and stuff, it's all about muscle memory and developing over time. And once again, back to the question, he was like, any memories
I'm back
that
now.
you would have of Thunder Gotti that stands out, and special
I
guy he
mean,
was.
there's
Yeah,
there's so many, man. He when we was training for the third Mickey Ward fight, he was
yeah.
having hand problems. So he
Wow.
went to the bicycle store and bought the seat off of a bike so he can use the padding to wrap his hands with.
Wow. Okay.
So he bought the seat to the gym, got a knife, cut the padding out, and used it to wrap his hand.
What?
Yeah.
Well, wow. Wow. You won't see that
There's
one.
there's there's so many stories, man. I mean, I could go all day.
Yeah. He seemed like a good kid. Just he seemed like he was a student. Can you co-sign
Yeah,
on that?
yeah. He once he's seen that he can make the fights easier. He
Yeah.
he liked that more than anything. So it
Yeah.
made it that much better.
Yeah. Good. And for those of you who don't understand that, you got the guys who already know everything when they come into the gym. And then you got the guys who have the perception of I watch Sugar Ray Leonard, so I should be able to fight like that. So they're gonna just steer themselves wrong. And then you have the guys who have a pen out and a piece of paper and they take notes and they listen and they do what you ask them to do. Those are students. And
That's how I learned. I used to spend time with. I was blessed and fortunate enough spend time with guys like, Willie Pep, Rocky Graziano, Jake LaMotta, Jersey Joe Walk, especially Jersey Joe Walcott used to come watch me train twice a week. He would have his son drive him from Camden down to Jersey City twice a
What?
week to watch me. Yes. So
Wow.
I used to sit and pick these guys' brains. Eddie Futch, Georgie Benton, Ray Arcel. I would pick
Wow.
I would pick these guys' brains for hours.
Yeah.
And the good part was they were willing to share with me.
Wow. Yeah.
So so I
Yeah.
just that's how I learned, man. Like that saying is you don't get old by being a fool. So
No, you
I
definitely
mean,
don't.
right.
Uh, Remy Vaughn Diesel says, wow, such respect. Thanks for everything you've done for boxing. You're a legend, buddy. And
Tell
yeah,
them thank you.
yeah, absolutely, man. He is, man. And the fact everybody does not cling to people because sometimes ego can get in your way and you can just start thinking you know everything and you're probably the best guy in the gym, which means you're at the wrong gym. I always have said this. My uncle instilled this in me. If you're the best guy at the gym, you're at the wrong gym because it's in a land of barracudas. It's all barracudas and sharks, and no one's the best one when you're in the right camp. It's just obvious that you're supposed to get better, and it's hard to get better when the ceiling is already met before you've even gotten your good big fight. So
Yeah.
when we thank Buddy for doing, he understood what the game needed, and it's obvious the tutelage that he ran up under. He knew that those educational conversations are far and few in between, and you got to get them while you can get them and take them in and stuff. So any guys today, right now, that you feel like will be guys that will be written in the history books, really solid, that you really have those qualifications and characteristics of a student. Who?
There's very few students. It's
Yeah,
funny. Uh, Before I had Antonio Tarver fight Roy Jones the second time,
yeah.
I was in a gym in Las Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and Eddie Futch was there. And this is a week before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I sat there and I talked to Eddie for 2 hours, just learning different things. You know
Wow.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
he said to me, he goes, "Buddy, always remember this. A guy cannot punch and block punches at the same time. I don't care how fast he is."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "So when Roy starts to punch, have your man go right down the middle.
Wow.
Punch when he punches." Georgie Britton told me the same thing. But the point I'm getting at is that after I spoke to Eddie Futch, there was the gym was full of trainers.
Mm-hmm.
And they all said to me, "Yo, why are you wasting your time talking to that old man?" I said, "Well, listen,
Wow.
you guys are the fools." I said, "Because that old man right there, what he forgot, you would never learn."
Yeah. And people don't understand that
I
statement.
said, "You would never learn what that." So what this man's forgot. I said, "This man came up with Joe Louis and Chappie Blackburn, who trained Joe Louis. And Chappie Blackburn was one of the greatest trainers. So this man came up with them and Ray Robinson. So how can you say this man is crazy? This man ain't crazy. That man got knowledge, man.
Yeah.
He has knowledge, and I love always talking to the older trainers and teachers who had that knowledge.
Yeah.
Which I want to soak it all up. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, what I still do today is when I'm like away, like I'm in training camp now with a fighter.
Yeah.
I go to YouTube and watch all the old fighters. I don't watch no fighters from today.
Mm-mm.
I don't watch no fighters from my era.
Yeah.
I go before my era.
Yeah. It's the
And
same with music.
I told a guy, I have this one guy, Buddy, who should I study? He's a young up and coming trainer. And he says, "Buddy, what fighter should I study?" So I told him to go study Charlie Burley.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me the next day and says, "Buddy, how the hell this guy did not get a title fight?"
Yeah.
He beat everybody, man.
Yeah, like Langston, and it's a ton of guys who just didn't get those shots because they were so good. Nobody, but they didn't have big, followings like the Canelo Alvarez kind of guys and the people who have and the Pacquiao's. Bless you.
You know,
Uh,
they had the
yeah,
thing for Black Murderers Row,
yeah,
and they had fighters in there. They didn't have the best records, but nobody wanted to fight them.
mm-hmm,
I mean, because they can fight.
yeah.
So, but
They dug the
anywho,
dug the situation, high risk, low reward kind of situation, and they just didn't want the smoke. This guy
right.
right here, Roger W. Roger asks, "Who was the best person you trained?" I'm speaking that he's saying as far as talent wise.
Talent wise,
Yeah.
I have to go with two guys, Antonio Tarver and the late Vernon Forrest. These
Whew.
guys, the world didn't get a chance to see these guys' real skills.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
No, they
never
didn't. Yeah.
they listen, Tarver, oh my God. Vernon, forget it. The talent these guys had
Yeah.
was unbelievable. It
Yeah.
was, I mean, it's you can't explain it. You have to sit there to see it,
Yeah.
and you still might not understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did it so naturally and so good. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Forrest was definitely a purist. That had the size, had the range, had the ability, had the jab, the right hand to follow. He
And the
did,
smart. He was
and
very smart.
IQ. Yeah, because you can't beat a guy like Shane Mosley, as talented as he is, no matter how big you are at that weight, without having some other stuff. And
Oh yeah, you gotta have the total package.
yeah, you got to have the total package when it comes to it. And
Yeah.
these guys are just really Curtis Cokes
Who?
on Dallas. This young man right here put on. He's like, damn, I was lucky to be around the late Curtis Cokes here in Dallas. Yeah, you are. If you got good teachers and people around you, man, you better hold on to them. That's without a doubt, and listen to them. And
Yeah.
it's a big thing, man. And what Buddy is doing right now for the game, and there are guys who really really admire you, the way and to get you back in front of these people so they can know that where your lineage has come from. And I always say to these guys, you got to be around old knowledge. The new knowledge is like new music. It's just spinned off of what was actually created. So it's a fraction of what the pureness of it is, and it's going to be so much stuff missing, and it's going to show up in the ring. And that's why you see so many one-sided fights and one-sided promotions and stuff, because the lineage, the depths of where these guys are learning from. They're learning from Timmy, who's 22 years old. He ain't never he's never had anything. So, but I'm gonna say three names, and I want you to tell me the first thing that come to your mind when you hear these names, and just simply when it comes down to it, because they should create some kind of feeling. Howard Davis Jr.
One of the best. I sparred with Howard Davis when I was 17 years old, and he was paying 500 a week. And my friend said, "Yo, will your car make it to Hempstead?" I said, "For 500 a week, I'll walk to Hempstead."
Yeah, that's
I've never
great.
been. I've never been in a ring with a guy so fast in my life.
Wow. His hands.
And
Yeah.
I wind up fighting him years later, but he wasn't the same Howard Davis. I mean, I'd be the first to admit that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But great man though, great human being, good guy. God bless him.
Terry Norris.
Hell of a fighter. I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But one hell of a fighter. You know what I mean? So, like I say, I believe he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves.
No, no, guys don't even know him. And these are the guys that I want people to know about. The guys who had that stuff and were students
Right.
and were groomed properly. Because you don't get a belt just by showing up. People will
Exactly.
lay their lives
Today,
down. Yeah.
today you do.
Well, I mean, you can go to Walmart and get a belt now. So,
Right.
that's why I had Mauricio Suleiman on the and talk to people about how they rank, what they're looking for, and things like that. And then it becomes smoke and mirrors, and the line is very blurred. But you can believe this: there are levels to the game even today. So in order to get from one level to the next, you're gonna learn and stuff. So
Right.
I'm gonna say this last name, and the first thing that come to your mind when I say the word and the name Archie, the old mongoose Moore.
Greatness. Greatness. You can't, that's what you need, the greatness.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Greatness.
Pure greatness. Wrinkles that people just don't understand how a man could take and just grow a career off of will and determination, and just so happen to have the most skills to
And did
carry
you
him.
know? Did you know he was in the corner with George Foreman the night George Foreman beat Joe Frazier?
Yeah, his Jay Marie is like my little sister. So yeah, I
Oh yeah,
definitely.
but you tell her I said hello.
Oh, I will. She's probably watching right now. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we make sure we get the what we call the royals, the boxing royals. We make sure are front and center, and because it's important that people understand these people. You know,
Right.
Tony Zell's niece also helped on the show so much, and who's Haley, and you got all of the people who understand that it takes so much more to become and get to this thing that you call royalty in boxing. And in the boxing community is a circle, and you just don't get in it. And you have to earn your stripes. And you fought, and you knew how many more levels there were to get to, because they weren't letting you in until you got there. You
Right.
stand on the outside until you get in, and that's why we so thankful that you came and shared your time with us, buddy.
Thank you.
Anything that you are behind, any charities, any people that you want to highlight, or and this is
Well,
your time.
I'm trying to get involved with
Yeah,
the domestic violence thing. That you know what I mean.
yeah,
I'm very much against domestic violence,
yeah.
and
Geo
I
Geo
I grew,
Chastain.
I
You need.
grew up with it as a kid with my stepdad, so
Yeah,
I really want to get involved in it
yeah,
because it's amazing what how much effect it can have on a kid.
yeah.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's my goal right now.
Well, I'm gonna. You probably know Jill Chastain from the WBC. She heads off a great, uh, you know, domestic violence thing, and she's very good friend, and she's a good point of
But
contact.
let her know
I
that
will. She's
I'm
probably
interested. In
she's probably watching too.
it.
But these people are not gonna pop their name of, they just,
Right.
she works in high rankings, but she's definitely always attending and checking us out and stuff. So that's beautiful, buddy. Man, that says a lot about your character enough. We ain't here to blow your head up, but we are here to let these people know what you do and how you did it, and that you're still a big part of the game today is a beautiful. And I don't
Thank
know
you.
if you guys are fighting seriously, and a lot of guys watch, but if you guys are fighting, if you don't do anything, you need to make sure that you are following guys like Buddy. I hope you don't mind me putting your Instagram uh
No,
account
no,
up
no, not at
here.
all. No.
Let me get you I'm gonna say it. Want you to say it so they can hear it. Follow
Oh,
Buddy on Instagram, people, because you're gonna see some stuff. Buddy speaks every day. He says something. He gives a pearl. Give me your Instagram. I got it on my thing, but I can't see it
it's
on my phone.
wait a minute, I believe. Oh, Buddy McGirt boxing.
Buddy, there you go. I knew it was something simple, but boxing. Y'all follow Buddy and check out his posts. Make sure you make yourself known, and make sure you let him know you saw him on the fight show, so he'll know, oh man, I got these new followers, man. The fight show is really the real deal. But no, check out Buddy, and just watch him continue to impact the sport of boxing. And once again, buddy, man, we thank you for
Thank
taking the
you.
time out, man, and appreciate you. Continue blessings at Godspeed. And we out. Thanks,
All right,
man.
Ray.
We appreciate you, brother. One.
Take care. Thank
All
you.
right, champ. And that's one of the best in the world, the boxing minds. And when you see someone like that, just understand, like he said, he used to flee to the older people so he could learn. And that's where you really get that knowledge. So I'll take some questions. Anybody, let me see. Does it affect you fighting pro with someone regular sport? Yeah, you need to fight different. You need to spar different people all the time. Archie was the best. And that's not even just talking. So having the ability to really take these things and just kind of catapult yourself into a circle where you will learn not just see boxing, but you will learn boxing, and the answers and stuff that you're looking to get reside behind these guys' heads. That's why you take boxing serious. You can't just walk off the street and become a great fighter. You have to go into the concept with a concept when you walk into that gym as a student, because you have to learn an entirely new dictionary. You have to really embrace and learn a new vocabulary. This is not a thing that you know by watching it on a screen. I've been in the sport at a very, very, very elite level, and it is scary. And if you are uninformed, boy, you're going to find out really fast. So I don't care about how much talent you have or think you have. If you're not in a circle, and that's why I love giving special love to my brothers from the School of Boxing, because they took career serious and going on and on. So continue to follow us and ask questions. Keep yourself in the circles. If you're not in the game and you're looking to be in the game, make sure you find a place that you can have conversations with people who are quality, who really respect the game, and you can smell respect coming off of them. And that's how you move the needle when it comes to being in the sport of boxing. No other way will you get in this fraternity and make noise. I promise you that I would bring the key people, the biggest and sharpest minds, the most powerful people in boxing to you to watch here live on the Fight Show. And that's what we're doing. And continually, we will continue to press and push the needle. So we thank you for taking the time out for sharing our posts, because I try to make sure that if not me, my team says thank you when you do share, making sure you subscribe to the website and take a very dedicated time to not just look over the content in the videos, but subscribe to the website so you can really understand all the stuff that's under that brick that you're watching on that overlay when you're looking at a video, because there's so much dirt and soil and roots under that stuff that without it, it's null and void. One thing without the other is like peanut butter without the jelly, bread without the bacon. You have to understand it all goes together. And that's what our purpose here, man. We are here to bridge the gap from those who thinking they know and those who truly know. There's a big gap in between. So continue to follow us, share the post. And if you have not subscribed, go up to the website and subscribe. Why? Because you'll find out. And remember, stay locked in. We have the Peekaboo Clinic coming up. It's a powerful thing, and it's going to be absolutely for you guys to have and utilize and learn the lineage and all of the things that you do not understand about how the peekaboo is designed, where it starts from, the origin, what's the concept and the perception. And that's kind of what we're going to do. So let me see if I can pull it up. And so the link will go down in the comment box. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, Let me see. I think it's, there we go. Got it. So I think this is it. Nope, that's not the one. Peekaboo. Basic science. Go check us out. Now, what you just saw was this pop up. When this pops up, a link pops down in the comment box. Go click that if you're serious about boxing, if you train, or if you're a coach, or if you're an elite level fighter, not someone who just watches TV. You sign up for this clinic because it's the real deal, serious stuff. All right. Sign up for the webinar. It's going down. You will learn some of the more important things about learning boxing and muscle memory. So until next time, continue blessings. Next week, we have in the house Julio Diaz, former trainer of Timothy Bradley and many current fighters today. He actually was just on the card the other day. And so check it out. Julio Diaz on the Fight Show. Until next time, be blessed at God.